Ramana Maharshi Center for Learning is a non-profit registered society working now for more than 4 decades in the areas of Indian heritage awareness.
Yogi Ramana Parama Guruve Yogi Ramana Parama Guruve Tyagi Uni Sukha Shanti Uni Yogi Hridayadi Raj Pe त्यागी उनी सुख शांति उनी भोगी हृदय दी राज पे नीने त्याग भोग सुख दातनु नीने त्याग भोग सुख दातनु भागिद शरणर निकायो योगी रमण परम गुरुवे योगी रमण परम गुरुवे बालकनागिरे कालन नोडी छलद मनवा बंधन माडी हलवु जन्मद भ्रांति ನೀಗಿ ಕಾಲನ ಲೀಲೆಯ ನೀಗಲಿದೆ ಯೋಗಿ ರಮಣ ಪರಮ ಗುರುವೇ योगी रमण परम गुरुवे नानारेंबुद ತಿಳಿದವನೀನೇ ನಾನೆನ್ನುವ ಆತ್ಮನು ನೀನೇ ನಾನಾರೆಂಬುದ ತಿಳಿದವನೀನೇ ನಾನೆನ್ನುವ ಆತ್ಮನು ನೀನೇ ಜನನ ಬಂಧನ ಅತೀತ ನೀನೇ ಜನನ ಬಂಧನ ಅತೀತ ನೀನೇ ನಿನ್ನ ಭಕ್ತರ ಪೊರೆ ಗುರು गुरु योगी रमण परम गुरुवे Bhagavan's life is the teaching. What is Bhagavan's life? Who is Bhagavan? That we should say, what is Bhagavan's life? Who is Bhagavan? He has described to us that he is that awareness, that consciousness which shines in the hearts of all beings, beginning from Hari. Hariyadi itara jeevar ahavarija guhayil arivairame paramatma Arunachala Ramana. Arunachala Ramana, he writes in answer to a devotee's question, is none other than that light which sports as the light of consciousness in the hearts of all beings, beginning from Hari. Therefore, Bhagavan's life is the life of all the gods, the sports of all the gods, all the charitras, Bhagavan's life is the life of all living beings. Bhagavan's life is the life of the entire universe. It is the life of an ant, an elephant, it is our lives. Bhagavan was born in the Bhuminatha Kshetra. What is the Bhumi? The Bhumi is his body. In Bhagavad Gita, it has been described as the body is the Kshetra, the Bhumi. This body is the playfield of Bhagavan. In this he sports in every body, and beyond all forms he is as the self, which became manifest on the 30th of December 1879. Thus, the life of Bhagavan is an exemplary picture before us. A marvelous, a magical, an amazing portrait before us of what actually our life is, but which we may have failed to perceive. We may have failed to see that this is what our life is, and therefore, in great compassion, the self has become embodied as Bhagavan Ramana before all of us. And what is the teaching of Bhagavan? The teaching of Bhagavan is the same. It is that we are all of the nature of bliss. There is only the one truth, the undivided truth, which is all pervading, all enveloping, and everything exists in it. As Bhagavan says in Arunachala Pancharatnam, Chittiramam Iddellam Semmalaye Ninpale Vidamai Nindre Odungidumar Nittiyamum Naan en Hridayam Nadittirivayal Unpedan Idayam Yengiduvar. So Bhagavan's life is the life of that which is universal. Bhagavan's life is the life of that. Bhagavan's life reveals to us that not that he alone is the great Bhagavan, yes of course, that he is unparalleled, yes of course, that it is, his life is na bhuto, na bhivishyati, as they say, it has never been and will never be a parallel to it, ever again in the history of mankind. There cannot be, but his life is more than all this an establishing of the fact of the universality of that truth which we celebrate as the self within and as Bhagavan's presence without. When we open our eyes, when we move in the world, we call that self Bhagavan. We call it his presence, and his life shows that it is available to all at all times. That is why Bhagavan has been available to all at all times. If we see Bhagavan's life, one of those rare features which we see is that Bhagavan is available always. There is no secret about him. There is no secret about Bhagavan's life. One cannot say for a few minutes Bhagavan would go alone into the forest and do something and come, and we don't know what he did at that time. No. There is not a moment of his life which was secret, because he is establishing to us that the self is not secret. The self seems to be secret. We have all learned that the self is the greatest of mysteries, but Bhagavan says the self is not a secret. It is available to all at all times. This is the basis of his teaching. He says nobody can be excluded from it, and hence he has taught not only human beings, he has taught the same truth to animals also. He did not make any exception. He taught the same truth to the monkeys, to the dogs, and to human beings alike. Because he says it is available to all at all times. Thus, Bhagavan's life is the life of availability. The other thing which we see about Bhagavan's life is simplicity, as many incidents have shown to us. Absolutely simple. The simplest possible life is Bhagavan's life. Practically no need. He is wearing a loincloth, and even that loincloth, when it gets torn, he removes a thread from that loincloth, takes a prickly pear thorn, makes it into a needle and stitches up his loincloth and wears it. Bare minimum, there is absolute simplicity. Why? Because the self does not need anything to be added on to it. There is nothing that can be added on to the self, Bhagavan says, through his life. Muruganatha Swami says, that's why even this Kaupina is a concession to the world. Mihainum Mihai, he says, out of just concession to the world. Because Bhagavan is just declaring that here it is the vast open space, it is the simplest of things. And Bhagavan says, the self is very simple. It is very simple. It is very direct. Bhagavan could be approached directly by anybody. Bhagavan can be approached directly. Even now, by every one of us. Bhagavan does not have any middleman to reach him. Direct approach. Bhagavan has not created any parampara. Because just as he has been available from 1896 to 1950, he is available even now till 2013 and will continue for all eternity to be available directly. The direct approach is what Bhagavan says, because the self does not need any intermediary, it is directly available. Therefore, anybody could approach Bhagavan directly, and even now he is available. His life is such. He continues to live that by calling all of us here directly to his presence. So this, and what is the self? What is the experience of the self? The experience of the self is bliss. The experience of the self is peace. The experience of the self is love. That is only love alone. There is no other thing which is love other than the self. It is because of the self that everything else is dear. Therefore we find that Bhagavan's life is an overflowing of love at all times. It's an overflowing of love because the absence of love comes when there is division. If there is I and there is an other, we imagine that we can love somebody who is apart from us. In fact, not. Because somewhere, some difference will creep in. Difference will creep in because when I see something which is apart from me, there will be fear. There will be fear either of being invaded, hurt by that object which is outside of me, or if there is no threatening, if I don't feel threatened by that object absolutely, I will have fear of losing that. This person is so dear to me, what if I lose that person? So I will become possessive rather than loving. So love will disappear where there is an object. And how can I love as something which is apart from me? Because I do not understand that which is apart from me. The person may want something, but I may think that that person needs something else and foist it upon that person. Very often in the name of love, we thrust upon our dear ones those things which they do not want, which don't seem to make them happy at that time. But we say, no, it is my love for you which is making me do this. Whereas He who is ever abiding within every one of us, He alone can love us. He knows better than us also what is our greatest need. And what is that greatest need? That greatest need is, of course, to abide ever in the bliss of the self. So Bhagavan's life reveals to us from moment to moment that marvelous bliss of the self. Every moment we can see that Bhagavan is in this bliss. The external circumstances have no meaning whatsoever. This is described by Vishwanatha Swami in the Ashtotram, which is also like a biography of Bhagavan, the Ramana Ashtotram, in which he says, Udasinaya Namaha. He is one who is Udasina. He is least bothered about anything. Least bothered. Doesn't care a bit for anything. Udasina. But if we interpret that and we say, oh, I am very indifferent to anything. Udasina is not indifferent, it is indifference. But look at the third nama from that. Om Udasinaya Namaha. Then Mahayogini Namaha. And then Mahotsahaya Namaha.